Joyce Dahmer, Jeffrey's mother, has always been a bit of a mystery for me. I know what we've all heard. She was a pill-popping, emotionally erratic, unstable maniac who was frothing at the mouth, Lionel's words, and who refused to hold Jeffrey as a baby or a child, and was a horrible mother. She was greedy, she was selfish, who took off with Jeffrey's brother when Jeffrey was 17, back to Wisconsin to be with her family, post-divorce, August 24th, 1978. Like many of you, when I first heard these accounts, it all made sense. I thought, case closed. Just another example of an unfit mother who traumatized her child. Makes sense to blame the mother. Most people are comfortable with that. Problem is, the vast majority of information out there, whether they be media reports or articles or interviews or books, are all using information from none other than Lionel Dahmer's mouth. Even in the book that I found to be the most thorough when it comes to Jeffrey Dahmer, The Shrine of Jeffrey Dahmer by Brian Masters. Masters states a disclaimer that references to Joyce Dahmer's state of mind or character are derived from a deposition in Lionel Dahmer's handwriting prior to their divorce proceedings in 1978. He didn't even interview her. From what I can gather, Joyce Dahmer did not want to be interviewed immediately following the gruesome discoveries of her son. Understandable. Unlike Joyce, Lionel, on the other hand, was a talking machine, coming up with a million theories about what went wrong with their son. In his book and in his interviews, Lionel Dahmer describes his ex-wife as something akin to, well, Linda Blair in The Exorcist, a possessed, terrifying maniac who froths at the mouth and has seizures, which, by the way, were never diagnosed by any doctor. Lionel makes attempt after attempt at discrediting Joyce's character by making her out to be some drug addict when she was pregnant with Jeffrey, taking morphine and barbiturates, to which she replied during a Stone Phillips interview on MSNBC, "What doctor would prescribe morphine and barbiturates to a pregnant woman? I never took those drugs." Lionel painted a picture for us that this unstable mother was just a drug addict who probably caused brain damage. It was the drugs that she took that caused brain damage. Yet experts said that there were no brain or genetic abnormalities when it came to Jeffrey, and that it was impossible to link the drugs that Lionel stated that Joyce took during pregnancy to Jeffrey's criminal behavior. Lionel Dahmer talked, and yeah, of course, he did get to himself and his own theories on maybe what he may have contributed to Jeffrey's demise, but we'll get to those in another video. For this video, I'm gonna just say my professional opinion is, most of the time when someone talks and talks, they're guilty of something. What I find so alarming and sadly predictable is that these reporters seem to just assume that whatever Lionel Dahmer said was fact. Why would they do that? Well, he's a white male, and he's got his PhD in chemistry, which means he must be the expert of everything. And he isn't emotionally expressive, which means he must be sane and credible. It's funny how our culture discounts anything, any culture or gender that is too emotionally or physically expressive as something primitive or insane. Monotone, white male with no emotional expression must be trusted at all times. I can just imagine these reporters rolling their eyes as Lionel's recounting his tales about crazy Joyce and just thinking to themselves, yeah, women be crazy, man. His book came out, it was clear. He was stable and consistent. She was a crazy lunatic. The same year his book came out, Joyce attempted suicide. Joyce said in her interview with Diane Dimond on hard copy, "I feel like I'm being assaulted by statements that cannot be substantiated, and it's my duty to stand up for the mothers who are always made out to be monsters." So Joyce finally decided that it was time to tell her side of the story, and she wrote a book called An Assault on Motherhood. Unfortunately, according to Diane Dimond, publishers weren't interested in Joyce's perspective or publishing this book because they stated that everything they wanted to know about Jeffrey they already got from Lionel's perspective in his book. So is this just a case of yet another woman being silenced? I'm sure that Joyce Dahmer had her share of issues. She came from an alcoholic family and she probably suffered a lot of trauma. I'm not saying she was a perfect mother. Absolutely not. There is no such thing. What I am saying is that we cannot rely on Lionel Dahmer's point of view. For one, he's incredibly biased and he has a bone to pick with her because he's the one who did not want the divorce. For two, he's not a credible witness. He's not been fully honest with us. And in the subsequent videos, I'm going to show you how. Stay tuned.